Do police officers have ticket quotas, like 100 tickets a month, officer, or you're in trouble? No, say police departments, we don't have quotas. And some states ban quotas, but not Alabama. And the town of Auburn, officers were told that they had to write 100 tickets every month. If they didn't, they'd be in trouble. Officer Justin Hanner complained about that, and shortly after he complained, he was fired. So you're out of the police department, out of police work now.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, once you come forward and blow the whistle like this, you're pretty much blacklisted. So.
Now, in fairness, it wasn't just that you complained about it, you complained publicly. You also secretly videotaped your sergeant giving this order.
Officers will have 100 contacts per month, the minimum. Do not be the one that does not get 100.
You did this because they were just lying and saying, we're not going to admit this?
Yes, sir. They'll say in writing, in their public policy where everybody can read that we won't have quotas. We'll stress quality over quantity, but in these closed-door meetings...
They still say that. The Auburn city manager told us, we would never implement a quota. We think they're bad practice and wouldn't do it for money because it costs us more money to write tickets than we take in.
That's what they claim. Police officers are paid from the taxes we're taking in, and the chief says we get $34 a ticket. In 2011, we wrote 27,000 tickets. That's $800,000 that the city's bringing in. So I don't know where these hidden costs are, but I don't see how they're losing money.
I could see why a police department would say, we need quotas, otherwise you guys are just going to sleep in the car, goof off.
Well, that's what they say, but it's counterproductive. One, you become a reactive police force. You sit in speed traps all day, not patrolling the neighborhoods, not deterring crime. And then once a crime happens, you show up after the fact, take a report, file it, then go back to writing tickets. Nobody's patrolling the neighborhood to detect and deter it.
The worst part of this is you say there are unintended consequences on innocent people.
Yes, sir. If you tell an officer that they have to have so many contacts, they're going to go for the easiest way to get it. Me and my partner were working downtown. We observed a gentleman walking down the sidewalk. He had a little uneasy balance, so we think we need to contact him, make sure he's okay. We get out on him. He just lives a few blocks from the bar. He knew who he was, where he was going. He was walking home to keep from driving drunk. He showed us his identification, completely cooperated, and we determined that he was no threat to himself or the public and that he wasn't being a public nuisance, so we let him go. The supervisor told us to go back and arrest him. He says that he told me that I needed it for my stats. I refused because he didn't violate the statutes of the law, and my partner, fearful for his job, went ahead and arrested him.
Another example, a kid with a fake ID.
We contacted a young man for drinking a beer in public. He turned out to have a fake ID, be underage. What I did was write him what's called a non-traffic citation. The same supervisor comes up and says, you have to arrest him for liability purposes. If you write him that ticket and he goes off and gets more drunk and he's got that ticket in his pocket and he gets hurt, they could sue you. So you need to go ahead and take him to jail, and that way you're covered legally.
Some police officers talk about, I wrote him up for a POP. What's that?
What they're saying is they charge him for pissing off the police.
And yet a few cities have explicit quotas. In Woodlawn, Ohio, they don't deny it's a moneymaker. They tell the staff it'll generate $200,000 a year.
Well, there's better ways, more effective ways of doing what they're trying to accomplish. The only job of government is to protect the rights of its citizens, and we can't focus on the citizens at the expense of focusing on the criminals. You have to get off the streets, out of the speed traps. If you want to have a traffic division that works solely on that, that's fine, but the bulk of your police force needs to be deterring crime and trying to detect it. And to do that, they have to get in the neighborhoods, they have to get around these businesses.